want to get into college football real quick because I'm going to lose you in the next 5 minutes. I know that you are mid-major, Matt, for a reason, and we've got bowl games that are not college football playoffs coming up. We've got a random one that started at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. Let's not talk about today because it's already passed, but what's coming up in the bowls that stands out?
By the way, how about my JMU, huh? Everybody was so mad that JMU shouldn't have made it.
Water.
They covered in the last 2 minutes, and they look better than Texas A&M. Texas A&M scored 3 points. JMU is the only team to have over 400 yards of offense against Oregon this year. I mean, granted, the game was over, but it actually really wasn't over. I mean, they were up a bunch of scores, but JMU accounted for themselves well. So I was really proud of the Dukes in that game, and obviously we gave out the over, and it went well over. Very early. I think in the first half it went over. So I'm working on it for the newsletter for tomorrow. I'm mad at myself because today I liked Washington State, but Washington State's without their head coach, and there's all sorts of coaching things going on. And we saw Memphis look so bad without their head coach, so I got scared off. But Washington State looks really good, and they're going to win. And we're going to have that case tomorrow too. Toledo lost their head coach. There's a bunch of coordinators who are already leaving. Their defensive coordinator, who's awesome, is going to be our defensive coordinator at Syracuse, and I'm really excited about that. So they're going to be without a bunch of coordinators. They're going to be without a couple of defensive starters. They're going to be without their quarterback. And so Toledo's a team that's going to be ravaged by all sorts of issues and stuff like that. The line's gone up a little bit because when I started writing the blurbs for the newsletter, it was 6.5, and now it's 7.5 or 8. I would go and tease it down to essentially either 1.5 or 1, depending upon if you want to do a 6-point teaser or a 7-point teaser. I think that's the way to go sometimes in some of these bowl games that are around the key numbers, because I hate asking sometimes teams to have to win by margin, especially when we know the back door is always open late. Case in point, the JMU game when they score in the last 2 minutes. So if you want to find yourself another game, whether it's college football or the NFL, I would tease Louisville down. I think they're going to win. Unless there's a last minute opt out there, they're just better than Toledo. Should be a fun game though. A lot better than the one going on now. And then you got, one of my favorites. There's nothing better on Christmas Eve than turning on the television and watching the Hawaii Bowl. It is just a tradition for college football fans everywhere. It is, I really do want to, if I actually made money and didn't work in radio, which makes no money, I would go to Hawaii for Christmas just for the Hawaii Bowl. They're only a 1-point favorite in this game. Hawaii's got a sick against the spread number. At home, especially in this game. They're really good. I have not seen too many opt-outs or transfers for Hawaii. I get that California doesn't care as much. It's not a bad travel situation for Cal, but you find a lot of times that these teams that go to the Hawaii Bowl are there essentially for vacation. And I think if Cal wasn't in the ACC, they wouldn't be getting as much respect. So I really like Hawaii on Christmas Eve in the Hawaii Bowl because that it's a tradition unlike any other.
I've never heard someone say it's their favorite part of Christmas Eve, but that is why you are called mid-major, Matt. Last question, college football playoffs. We've got the second round coming up this week. Which spreads stood out?
So I think it's interesting because, and I'm pulling them up now. I think Miami, it's very interesting. Unless there was an injury or something, the line has jumped in this Miami game all the way up to 9.5. I get it. But remember, now we're going to neutral fields. And so we're now going to places where there's going to be home field advantage for somebody. But I really like this Miami team potentially. And the 9.5, I think that's a decent number. Early thoughts here. I like kind of Oregon. I mean, I'm just really impressed with Oregon. Texas Tech's defense is really good, but their offense struggles in the red zone. You cannot struggle in the red zone against Oregon. So I have an early lean to Oregon here. Also, slight lean to Alabama, I think. This one's hovering around 6.5 or 7. I just think that Alabama getting the win at Oklahoma kind of gives them some confidence here. And we've seen at times, look at baseball, the teams that have been off a bunch of time, that it takes them a little time to get into a rhythm. And I think Alabama won't be intimidated by Indiana. And then Ole Miss and Georgia, I think that's going to be a lower scoring game. I don't know if I think Georgia covers that number. I think Ole Miss, the way Ole Miss played with all the question marks, the fact that Lane Kiffin was gone and Pete Golding was there, and everybody was like, well, how are they going to play without Lane Kiffin? I think they played pretty well. It's a team that they're going to be familiar with in their own conference. So early thoughts, and we'll talk about this again on Friday or next Monday or whatever. Early thoughts here. I like Miami plus the points, Oregon to win over Texas Tech, Alabama plus the points, and I think Ole Miss. I haven't locked any of them in yet, but those are my early leans. We'll check back in on Friday when we do this again.
Even though those games were all this past weekend, we won't have those games until at least New Year's Eve. Miami and Ohio State, December 31st. The rest will be on New Year's Day. Bunch of bowl games in between, which is why we've got mid-major Matt, because he's going to tell us exactly what to look at and which bowls to narrow down, because it's not just the college football playoff. We've still got bowl games. Mid-major Matt, thank you as always for coming on the show. You are the best. We will see you on Friday.
And hoping for some agreements with my guy, Jared. We haven't, since I haven't been on a couple times, I hope we get some agreements, because that's usually winners when we do.
The kicker props. Jared and I agree on a lot of props today, actually, but the kicker prop, I'm very interested to get his thoughts, so I'll keep you posted.
Sounds good.